Hey, look at this. Can you see this? So you're drinking this?
Yes.
Where did you get this from?
The down there.
Okay, can you show me?
Yes.
Is there a foot pump anywhere?
Down there.
Don't drink this.
bruh.
Wait. We need to fix this. It's over there. Okay. So this has been broken for how long?
1 year.
So bad. So bad. These people need your help. So this is causing all the problems. You're replacing it with this.
Yes.
This is going to bring water to 2,000 people.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Let's see. No water.
Wow!
If Nigerian youth refuse to join the army willingly, we will make it mandatory for everyone from age 18 to join. The 10,000 we recruited last year are nowhere to be found.
I want to go. I'm waiting for UN. They must come. I'm sick and tired for this country. I'm suffering a lot. I want to go. I want to go.
What is government South Africa?
What is the zoo?
Where is Mandela's government?
Emotions are very high. People are angry, high emotion. One lady is saying that she just wants to leave, even if it's going back to her home country, as I said earlier on, and they have nowhere to go at this very moment. And they're asking, where is the government when law enforcement officers are treating them in this manner? With the roads blocked, they have nowhere to go. They're basically in the middle of the road with law enforcement officers blocking.
If Africa had an Avengers lineup, South Africa would be Iron Man, polished, strategic, and always showing up with a new upgrade, while Nigeria would be the Hulk. Huge potential, massive energy, but occasionally smashing its own GDP by accident. And today, we're diving straight into the argument that has been ruining family gatherings and WhatsApp groups since forever. Why South Africa, not Nigeria, is the real giant of Africa. Yes, I know that statement alone just made a Nigerian somewhere sit up straight. Perfect. Let's begin. South Africa's economy in 2025 is sitting comfortably at about $418 billion, the largest on the continent. Nigeria, once the self-proclaimed heavyweight, has dropped from a loud and proud $510 billion in 2023 to around $188 billion today. That's not a dip. That's a full-blown economic bungee jump without the rope. South Africa, meanwhile, moves like a country that actually understands diversification. Mining, manufacturing, finance, tourism, agriculture, tech. It's the full package. Nigeria feels more like someone who used to be rich, still dresses like they're rich, but you haven't seen them pay for anything in months. But let's keep going, because the story gets even more interesting. South Africa isn't just making money, it's converting it into quality of life. Stronger education systems, more reliable healthcare, planned cities, functioning services. Its Human Development Index sits around 0.717, one of the highest in Africa. Nigeria, 0.560. That's the difference between your system's work and your citizens' work miracles. And here's the thing. Size means nothing if your people can't enjoy the basics. A huge population without the infrastructure to support it is like owning a megachurch with no chairs. Sure, the crowd is impressive, but everyone is standing. Which brings us to something South Africa does better than almost anyone on the continent: infrastructure. This is where the country flexes without even trying. Road networks that span more than 750,000 kilometers, ports that handle serious international traffic, airports ranked among the best on the continent, telecom systems that actually function without making you want to throw your phone into the ocean. South Africa is built like a country preparing for global competition. Nigeria is built like a country preparing for traffic and more traffic, with a side of "please bear with us." But here's where it gets even more interesting. The gap doesn't stay on the ground. It climbs into the skies, slips into their institutions, and even shows up in everyday life metrics, because the more you zoom out, the clearer the picture becomes. South Africa isn't just doing well, it's operating on an entirely different level. And trust me, if any of that made someone angry, they should stick around, because what comes next makes this comparison even more undeniable. South Africa isn't just holding Africa's best economic cards, it's also the continent's unofficial infrastructure showroom, and the deeper you look, the more it feels like Nigeria and South Africa are playing two completely different games. One is playing chess with strategy, industry, and long-term planning. The other is playing Ludo, arguing with the dice. South Africa's major highways connect the entire country in a way that actually makes sense. The N1, N2, and N3 look like they were designed by someone with a map, a budget, and common sense. The holy trinity of development. Meanwhile, a road trip in Nigeria can feel like a survival reality show. One minute you're cruising, the next minute the road disappears and you start negotiating with potholes like they're living beings. Then you've got their ports. Durban alone is the busiest container port in Africa, a full-blown economic machine. Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, Richards Bay, all modern, organized, constantly upgraded. Nigeria's ports, let's just say if efficiency were a school subject, they'd still be repeating the class. And the airports, oh, the airports. Tambo isn't just a gateway to South Africa, it's a gateway to the entire continent. Cape Town and King Shaka consistently rank among Africa's best, offering smooth operations and clean terminals where your soul doesn't leave your body during check-in. Nigeria's airports, on the other hand, have perfected the art of organized chaos. Heavy on the chaos, light on the organized. And while infrastructure paints a very obvious picture, the lifestyle comparison adds another layer. South Africa doesn't just have functioning systems. It has cities that genuinely feel global. Cape Town looks like a postcard. Johannesburg looks like a business magazine cover. Durban looks like a vacation you didn't know you needed. Lagos looks like the season finale of a show with too many plot twists. But let's zoom out even further. South Africa's overall living standards are among the highest in Africa. Better healthcare access, better transportation, stronger institutions, cleaner cities, more reliable services. Yes, the country has its problems: unemployment, inequality, crime. But even with these challenges, it still maintains an HDI that places it near the top of the continent. And consider this: when Africans relocate for a better life, far more Nigerians move to South Africa than South Africans move to Nigeria. People don't migrate to a place because it sounds nice. They move because the systems work, because the streets are safer, because the economy has more opportunities, because the country is stable enough to plan a future without needing a backup plan for your backup plan. But you know what really seals this entire debate? South Africa doesn't just have strong internal systems. It has continental influence, political influence, cultural influence, economic influence, military influence, global partnerships that matter. While Nigeria is busy arguing about who took the last piece of national cake, South Africa is out here shaping conversations, negotiating on the global stage, and hosting world-class events like it's nothing. They hosted the FIFA World Cup in 2010, the only African country to ever achieve that. And they made the whole continent look like proud parents in the stadium stands. And trust me, if you thought the infrastructure and lifestyle gap was huge, wait until you see how South Africa flexes when the topic turns to military power and global positioning. You're about to understand why calling South Africa the real giant of Africa isn't an insult to Nigeria. It's just geographically and statistically accurate. Now let's talk about the part nobody wants to admit, but everybody secretly knows. South Africa's military isn't just stronger, it's in a completely different weight class. The South African National Defence Force operates like a disciplined, well-trained regional power. This isn't your "we have soldiers but no equipment" situation. This is an actual modern military with structure, capability, and technology that makes global partners pay attention. They've got Gripen fighter jets slicing through the skies, submarines patrolling the oceans, armored vehicles built locally, and a defense industry that manufactures world-class hardware, not to mention one of the most experienced peacekeeping forces on the continent. Meanwhile, Nigeria has the numbers, yes, but not the same level of modernization. Think of it this way: one country is using precision tools, the other is using enthusiasm. A lot of enthusiasm. South Africa's navy alone protects 2 massive coastlines and controls some of the most strategically important sea routes in the southern hemisphere. Nigeria? Their navy spends half its time chasing oil thieves and losing regularly. But the real flex isn't even the equipment, it's the organization. South Africa's military functions like a regional stabilizer with international respect, while Nigeria is still fighting internal chaos with resources that should be focusing outward, not inward. And just when you think South Africa is done showing off, its tourism and global reputation enter the chat. This country attracts millions of tourists a year, and not the "my cousin is visiting from next door" kind. We're talking global tourists, real money, real numbers. Cape Town alone could pull a higher tourism rating than entire regions. Kruger National Park, one of the biggest safari destinations on Earth. The Garden Route, a natural beauty parade. All of this creates jobs, brings foreign currency, boosts service industries. Tourism isn't just vibes, it's a full-blown economic engine. Nigeria also has tourism potential, but potential doesn't pay bills. South Africa, on the other hand, turned its beauty, cities, nature, wildlife, and culture into one of its most profitable industries. And here's where the comparison really starts to feel unfair: international mobility. The South African passport gives access to about 103 countries without a visa. That means South Africans can actually travel for work, tourism, business, family, without feeling like they're applying for a PhD every time they want to go abroad. Nigeria's passport? Let's just say every Nigerian knows the drill. You pack your passport, your documents, extra documents, and prayer points, because you never know which one the embassy will ask for or invent. South Africa moves on the world stage with ease. Globally connected, continentally respected, internationally recognized. Nigeria has global influence too, no doubt, but the systems behind that influence don't hold the same weight. And here's the part that makes everything crystal clear. South Africa doesn't have the biggest population, it doesn't have the most land, it doesn't make the loudest noise, but it consistently performs at the highest level across multiple sectors: economy, infrastructure, healthcare, global rankings, tourism, military capacity, passport strength, industrial development. Nigeria may call itself the giant of Africa. But South Africa? South Africa actually acts like one. And believe me, we're not done yet. Because the final stretch of this comparison ties everything together in a way that makes the conclusion unavoidable. If you think South Africa has already proven enough, wait until you see how this story ends. So after breaking down every layer, the economy, the lifestyle, the infrastructure, the global presence, the military, the passport power, the tourism engine, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. South Africa isn't just checking boxes, it's checking entire categories. This is the country with world-class ports, skyscraper cities, internationally ranked universities, modern highways, advanced industries, and global partnerships that actually mean something. It's the country that has hosted the World Cup, dominated African aviation, led continental organizations, and positioned itself as the go-to hub for business, diplomacy, tourism, and culture. Meanwhile, Nigeria, with all its talent, all its brilliance, all its limitless potential, keeps fighting battles that South Africa solved years ago. Power supply, infrastructure, governance, security. It's like watching two sprinters in a race. One is running forward, the other is arguing with the referee about the starting gun. South Africa isn't perfect, not even close. Crime, inequality, unemployment. The country has real problems, and nobody is pretending it doesn't. But here's the difference. South Africa's strengths are institutional, structural, global, and measurable. Nigeria's strengths are cultural, demographic, creative, and potential-based. One is winning on systems, the other is winning on vibes, and vibes don't rank on the Human Development Index. When a Nigerian relocates, they often relocate to South Africa for opportunity, stability, and better living conditions. The journey doesn't go in reverse. That alone says everything numbers could never articulate. South Africa has positioned itself as the anchor of Africa, economically, politically, militarily, and globally. A country with functioning systems, strategic influence, and the most balanced development profile on the continent. Nigeria may have the population. South Africa has the performance. Nigeria may have the potential. South Africa has the results. Nigeria may have the loudest voice. South Africa has the receipts. And when the question is, who is the real giant of Africa? The answer has never been about size. The answer has always been about impact, stability, and global relevance. And by every modern standard, South Africa is the real giant of Africa. Now, if you made it this far without throwing your phone, congratulations. You're officially one of the reasonable ones. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button like Nigeria smashed its own GDP, subscribe for more content that actually challenges the narrative, and drop a comment telling us which country you want us to dissect next. Because trust me, this conversation is far from over, and we're just getting started.
Earlier today, Fanny Masimula, who is the National Commissioner Yamapoisa, was on TV saying that the police in South Africa no longer have the capacity to manage the crimes that are happening in South Africa, and it's mostly because people from Africa all are coming down south to South Africa. Therefore, it's causing a burden on the police because Amaphoyisa no longer have the capacity to keep up with igebengu, National Police Commissioner. So the finance minister says a few days back that the country can no longer afford to survive because we are financing people from outside of Africa. Health minister also said that our resources are stretched because we are taking care of people from all over Africa, right? ngifuna understand. Then yesterday, the Home Affairs Minister grants them an extension kuma ZDPs, knowing that the Finance Minister has already said that we can no longer take care of these people from all over Africa. Police Minister today confirms it. Now you guys are telling me that we have a government that is so clueless that different states can say one and the same thing, or different departments can say the same thing. We can't afford to have illegal immigrants. In fact, we can't afford to have even foreigners in this country anymore, regardless of what status. We can't have working visas because even in employment, there's a problem with illegal immigrants. And then there's a section of government that wants to further endorse lento yama illegal immigrants, or immigrants for that matter. It leaves you wondering, Guti, what is going on? Does government have a plan? I ask myself this. Do you think our government has a plan on how they are going to sort this thing out? Because I'm telling you now, government is not going to sort out lentema illegal immigrants. It is us as South Africans that have to sort it out. We are the ones that have to make it uncomfortable for illegal immigrants to not have places to rent, to not have places where they can work, to not have places where they go to school, to not have places where they are running tuck shops or businesses, because we are not going to be supporting them. I'm calling on all South Africans, South Africans, ngiyazi ukuthi manje sayicabanga lento ubone ngazi ukuthi wena ik-affect. Kodwa ngiyakuthembisa iyaku-affecta nawe. Uyabona ukuthi ngalesikhathi wena uyitshela ukuthi uthatha imali ye-rent from umuntu illegal immigrants, angazi futhi bangaka bathi bayarentisa labantu. And umuntu ebuye kuthina sezosikhalela ethi umuntu semkhipha emzini wakhe usethathe over, or abantu utheseshonile ingane zakhe ayisakwazi ukuthatha over indlu yakhe ngoba lo muntu sewuclaim umuzi as umuzi wakhe. And then mase nizokhalela thina. Kodwa siyanikhuza sithi musani ukuqashisa izindlu zenu kulabantu bokufika ningabazi usibawobani, ngoba one day bazodalela wena inkinga. Abama-tuck shop angazi ke bangaki sibasiza sebefuna bephume ey'ndaweni zabo abasafuni, ngoba basebenza with abantu ama-mafia abo ababaprotectayo abavikelayo. Uthi usufuna ukubakhipha, they start threatening you, they start wanting to kill you because abafuni ukusuka kwi-property yakho. So ngiyanicela South Africans, this thing is not going to be sorted by government. Idinga thina ukuthi siyilungise. Government wethu is clueless. I promise you, if you were to ask them today what their plan is for getting rid of illegal immigrants, they'll tell you, oh, we got rid of 50,000 when we are sitting at a number of estimated 20 million. 20 million people are walking around. That's just a rough estimate. Obviously we've got no way of knowing. These people bazoba baningi badlule thina one day, and when that day comes, we will have no voice. They will silence us, they will take over our homes, they will come in one by one and raid every single one, because ba organized bona. They are organized, they have meetings, they have groups, they have everything. Thina silibele ukudance groove. Udla ama drugs la abasunkonka wona futhi ukwenza show ukuthi mase sezidlila ama drugs la abantu bethu abacabangi anything but ukuthatha their next fix and their next fix. We have a problem, guys, and I'm begging all of you ukuthi ngishabe kuthi uyabenefita na uyiboni isidingo salento esiyenzayo. Ngicela ukuthi uhlale phansi and usihluphe about learning about ama effects of illegal immigration. 5 years from now, South Africa will be ngekho the way that you think ikhona manje. They are coming in numbers, recruiting their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, their entire families to come here. And don't think what's coming here is because they want to come here and live with South Africans. They want to get rid of you in your own country and take over. And I'm saying this as some of you might think ukuthi usahlanya lo. Vele kuba njalo mangabe ukhuluma ngento eqiniso ubuya ngathi uyahlanya. Ubuya ngathi awusile ekhanda lakho. But I'm telling you, so kusasa sisenkantolo. Tomorrow, fighting the Human Rights Commission. The Human Rights Commission of South Africa. So besibelwa nabo. Ngiyacela nibe khona. Durban High Court, so besikhona thina from 9 o'clock. Please bring something to drink. Sizobe senza show ukuthi siyagcoba. Sikhathele thina uhulumeni wethu ongasilaleli. And manje babopha thina. Babo Patina, instead of fixing the problem that is illegal immigrants. Guys, we need to wake up. Aseko isikhathi sokudlala manje. Aseko ukudansa nogroove nani isikhathi salokho aseko. Ngoba if those people come and take over this country today, nyobe niphethe ama militants from all over the world engawazi.